Good day, IML students. Today we are going to learn the difference between buys and sells and what they look like. Before we get started, here's a little bit about myself. My name is Adeze Duncan, representing iMarkets Live. Some of you may know me from Forex 101 on IML TV. Also, I was an educator for 10 years, and now I'm here educating you on the facts and methods of Forex. In order to get started on this journey, you need to remember one thing and one thing only. I am a student, always. This is very important for you to remember and to remind yourself of often. You will hear me use this phrase frequently as a reminder that you are a student that is learning a skill that will pay you for the rest of your life. Make sure that you take your time and learn what you need to learn. Pace yourself. Do not compare yourself to anyone else's progress. Always keep a winning mind frame and you will do very well in this industry. Upon finishing this video, you should have a very good understanding of the following questions. Read through them quietly to yourself. As you are taking notes, make sure to pause this video in order to answer these questions. Before we go into the lesson, I want to actually talk about some very relevant vocabulary. So please make sure you take some good notes on these vocabulary words. The relevant vocabulary for this training is going to be buy, sell, bulls, bears, long, short. Those are going to be the vocabulary words that we are going to talk about. I have them all on the same page. Why? Because it's really not that many that you need to know. It's not that many concepts. For instance, buy. Buy means you're expecting the currency's value to rise. So you would want to place a buy. That's the type of order you would want to place. And then sell means you are expecting the value of the currency to go down. So then the type of order you would want to place is a sell. Now, you will also see buys referred to as longs. So if I was to say go long, that means place a buy. If I said, hey, go short, that means place a short. Or you might hear people say, I'm short on Euro USD. I'm going long on, the New Zealand dollar. So if I'm going long that means I want to place a buy order. If I'm going short, I want to place a sell order. Something else to pay attention to. You see the picture, the bulls versus the bears. Bulls are all buy orders. And bears are all sell orders. So if you hear the market is bullish today, that means it's an up market. The market is rising. If it's a bearish market, that means the market is going down. So bulls versus bears, a bull is going up like a buy or going long. Bear is the sell going down, okay, or going short. It's important to know what is actually happening when you place an order. When you're placing an order, or let's say when a market participant is placing an order, if they're a buyer in the market, what's happening is they are causing the exchange rate's value to rise. Why? Because they want to buy it. When you all of a sudden want to buy something, when you find a buyer, then all of a sudden whatever it is that you have has more value to it. So what's it going to do? It's going to rise. As the demand increases for the currency, the exchange rate rises. And as that rise happens, that rise is recorded in the market and you actually start to see the market rise. So the more buyers you have in the market, the more the market starts to rise. And I'll show you an example. On the flip side, you've got sellers. When you have sellers, they cause the exchange rates to fall. Why? Because they're flooding the market with a supply. And when you have a high supply, there's a low demand for it. So as the demand of that currency falls, then so does the value of that currency. So as people sell plenty of orders, then they're actually causing the value of that currency to go down, and the market is recording that basically recording that on the charts. We've gone over the vocabulary as far as what buys, also known as longs, look like. So let's go ahead and see what they look like actually in real life on the charts, okay? So as you see here, I have these highlighted. So these regions here are, buy areas. This is an area where you would have wanted to place a buy. It's an example. I mean, this is not a perfect example, but you can see that the market was at a low and then it moved up very quickly. Same here. This is really more of kind of consolidation, but you see is what was at a low and it moved up quickly. Here's another good example. It was at a low, moved up. This was at a low, it moved up. So this is what a buy looks like in the market. This right here is a very big movement to the upside, followed by a huge, humongous up trend. or movement to the upside. So this would have been a good time to get in for a buy. Now, as you see, down here, but as you see, the market actually does little ping pongs back and forth. So there were lots of miniature buys inside of this. So that would have been a buy. This would have been a buy. That would have been a buy. You get it. So now you know what a buy looks like. As far as sells go, also called shorts. Remember, sells are when the market moves down. So it was at a high point and it moved down. So this is another one as an example. Here's another good one as an example. Look at that. This is a good one from this low to that, that high to that low. All right. By the way, these are called swing highs. This is called swing lows. Swing high, swing low. Swing high, down there would be a swing low. And as you see in this as well, there's lots of miniature short opportunities. In other words, it moved down, kind of went up a little bit, moved down. That's a short opportunity. Here's another one, short opportunity. Okay. So within these massive sells are miniature sells opportunities. All right. So if you wanted to hold it for a long time, you could. Otherwise, you could get like some quick little pops out of each one of these moves. So here's what it looks like actually on the charts. Again, remember when I talked to you about why buys happen, why sells happen? So imagine you're trying to sell, comic books. Those are things that a lot of people like to collect. So people collect comic books. And when do they like to buy them? When they're cheap, right? So for instance, you buy your comic books at 25 cents. Or another one, stamps. Whatever it is that you like to collect, we usually like to collect them at the cheapest rate. So we buy them cheap. Over a period of time, as other people are like, hey, look at that. That's pretty cheap. Everybody notices now, look at that. It's cheap. As people are buying, the more they buy, the more they raise the value. As price raises, you can start to see that recorded on the charts. Now, once it gets to a point called overbought, meaning nobody else wants to buy it, it's too expensive now. In fact, this is a really good time to sell it because, you probably could get top dollar out of it. That's what happens. People start selling off. Oh, this is a good time to sell. Great time to sell. As people sell, they flood the market back again with a supply of those comic books. And what happens? The value goes down. So that is what's happening in the charts. You're seeing it recorded, okay? Now, if you look at it from the currency standpoint, as more corporations and more institutions, market participants are buying up currencies, the value raises. When they do a massive sell-off, the value decreases because there's no longer a high demand for it. You heard me use the phrase overbought and oversold. When I say overbought, what I'm saying is that the market has reached its limits of people who are willing to place buys, and now no one wants to buy anymore. As we would say in a real estate market, the inventory is low. So now is the best time to be placing your sells in an overbought market. In an oversold market, the opposite is true. When you're in an oversold market, that means there's so many people that sold, they flooded the market, and now it's the best time to start placing your buys. Why? Because the value is now cheap enough for you to want to buy. So in an oversold market, you want to place your buys. In an overbought market, you want to place your sells. There is, however, an exception to the rule. Occasionally, when the market is in a very strong uptrend, then it can become overbought for an extended period of time. So you do not want to go against the trend. Same with a downtrend. When you have a very strong downtrend, the market can go into an oversold type situation. So the saying that they all say is the trend is your friend. You do not want to go against the trend. Thank you guys for listening to this. Hopefully this was very helpful to you. Please, if you want some good interaction and whatnot, please come visit me on IML TV. Forex 101 is what I teach. My name is Adeze Duncan. I am your IML Forex trainer. By now, you should have a good understanding of the following questions. Read them quietly to yourself, answer them, and when you are finished, go on to the next video in Forex Foundation 1 series.